Hola, hoy vamos a repasar los verbos regulares en el tiempo pretérito o en el pasado. So hello, today we are going to review our regular verbs in the preterite tense, which is also known as the past tense. So what is the preterite tense? I just told you it's one of our past tenses in Spanish. We do have two. We have the preterite and we also have the imperfect tense. So we are going to be reviewing the preterite and the imperfect tense, and then afterwards you guys will be learning the difference as to when to use one versus the other. This is typically a hard topic just because most students who English is their native language, we don't have two different preterite or past tenses in English. Therefore, this can be confusing for some people. So again, we are going to review just conjugations, the regular and irregular verbs, and then we're going to get into when to use one versus the other. So being able to conjugate the verbs is really important because that takes one less stress off of you when you are learning the preterite versus the imperfect. So, when is the preterite used? We're going to talk about a few different rules as to when we use the preterite. All right, so the first one is when something happened once. This can be stated or it can be implied, and I'll show you an example of each. So the first one is something that is stated. Yo canté karaoke una vez. All right, one time it's telling us. All right, that's when we did that activity. Versus el árbol se cayó. All right, the tree fell. This is implied because we understand when the tree falls, it's done. It doesn't get back up and then fall again. All right, it falls one time and it's over with. Our next rule is when something happened a specified number of times. So whenever you are being specific about something, that is always going to be the preterite tense. So that is a key clue of using the preterite. So always look for your context clues, and I'm going to show you what that means. So look at this example. It says, Él corrió al baño 5 veces. 5 veces, or 5 times, is our key word to tell us that he has done it a specific number of times. So remember, specific is your preterite tense, okay? Our next one is when something happened over a specified period of time. So looking at our example, ella fue al salón anoche. She went to the salon last night. So last night is our key clue to tell us, hey, this is the preterite tense. Another example, yo fui una mesera por 4 años. All right, I was a waitress for 4 years. 4 years is a specific period of time. Our next one is to describe one's feelings in the moment. So again, the preterite tense is all about being specific. So at that moment, how did you feel? So you can say, yo me enojé. I got mad, or I became mad. That's at that exact moment. Our next one is to say there was as in there happened. So an example is hubo una fiesta, or there was a party. So how is the preterite tense formed? We're now going to look at the conjugation. So if at any point you don't remember something or you might just need a refresher, please feel free to pause the video and write down your endings. So to look at our chart, it is a little bit different than the normal chart. The nosotros and the él, ella, usted are flipped, but it should be haste, amos, o, aron. All right, so those are your AR endings. So haste, o, amos, aron is our AR ending. So I give you the verb contar so you can see how it is conjugated. Now for our ER verbs, it is iste, imos, yo, ieron. So iste, yo, imos, ieron. And then if you look at it, the bonus is that IR verbs are the exact same thing as your ER ending. So really you only have 2 sets of endings to learn for your regular past tense verbs in the preterite. So one thing that I want to point out is looking at these three verbs, you might notice them because they are stem changing verbs. However, that's in the present tense. In the past tense, this rule doesn't apply. So if you're looking at it, you can see contar and you might see that O and think, hey, that's an O-T-U-E. Yes, again, present tense in the preterite, it is not. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Same thing, entender is an E-to-I-E verb. All right, but in the past tense, it is not. And salir is a go verb, but again, in the past tense, we are not going to use that. Another important thing that I want to point out is your accent marks. Remember, I tell you guys all the time, accents are super important. They can change the meaning of a word. So again, your yo form and your ella usted are always going to have an accent on them. All right? So that is it as far as our regular preterite verbs in the past tense. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. You could go back and rewatch the video or pause it at any point. But again, that was our review of your regular preterite verbs.